Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 10, text 7. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prema Maratha Priyan Prema Marataro Priyan Shakarupan Bhaktaganan Krishna Prema Pala Pradan. Translation: I offer my obeisances to all the dear devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the eternal tree of love of Godhead. I offer my respects to all the branches of the tree, the devotees of the Lord, who distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. Purport: Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami sets the example of offering obeisances to all the preacher devotees of Lord Chaitanya without distinction as to higher and lower. Unfortunately, at present, there are many foolish so-called devotees of Lord Chaitanya who make such distinctions. For example, the title Prabhupada is offered to a spiritual master, especially to a distinguished spiritual master such as Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. When our disciples similarly wanted to address their spiritual master as Prabhupada, some foolish people became envious. Not considering the propaganda work of the Hare Krishna movement, simply because these disciples addressed their spiritual master as Prabhupada, they became so envious that they formed a faction along with other such envious persons just to minimize the value of the Krishna consciousness movement. To chastise such fools, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very frankly says, Keha karibare nare jeshta lagu krama. Anyone who is a bona fide preacher of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be respectful to the real devotees of Lord Chaitanya. One should not be envious, considering one preacher to be very great and another to be very lowly. This is a material distinction and has no place on the platform of spiritual activities. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami therefore offers equal respect to all the preachers of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to the branches of the tree. ISKCON is one of these branches, and it should therefore be respected by all sincere devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Primamarato Priyan Shaka Rupan Bhakta Ganan Krishna Prema Palapradan. I offer my obeisances to all the dear devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the eternal tree of love of Godhead. I offer my respects to all the branches of the tree, the devotees of the Lord, who distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. So the next verse is 8. Maybe you can write it down. The next is 8. It's about Srivas Pandit and Sri Rama Pandita. Thank you. It is said that Chaitanya Charitamrita shows how to actually apply the principles of Bhagavad Gita in one's life. That Lord Chaitanya showed how to how to serve Krishna in a practical way by chanting, dancing, distributing prasadam, discussing philosophy, encouraging people to take up devotional service, and explaining the universality of Krishna consciousness. It's not something sectarian, it's something actually for everyone. And this is also what attracted me to Krishna consciousness, its universality. People think that this is Hinduism, but actually this is not Hinduism. This is not any ism. You can say it's Krishnaism or Vaishnavism, but it's actually universal. It's for all living entities all over the universe. So the word Vande, also there is one of the processes of devotional service is Vandanam, offering obeisances or offering prayers, and Krishna's uncle Akrura, he attained perfection by offering obeisances, by actually offering prayers, and these prayers are described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Akrura was a general and he was Krishna's uncle. And Krura means cruel, and Dakrura means opposite, not cruel or gentle or tender, but it also means manly. I looked in the Sanskrit dictionary the other day. It has few other meanings, but the main meaning is not cruel. Not cruel. But actually gopis don't like Akrura, because he took Krishna to Mathura. Yeah, Akrura took Krishna to Mathura, and but he had amazing realizations there when he was doing that. Then the next word is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, which refers to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna himself, who has appeared as a devotee in the mood of Srimati Radharani, with a golden complexion. With Srimati Radharani has such a golden complexion. Chaitanya means living force. Mahaprabhu means great master. Then Prema Amara Tarho, eternal tree full of love of Godhead. So there is this very nice metaphor of a tree. And then the Lord is described as a tree, and different devotees are described as branches of the tree. So many branches are described here. Many names are given also in Chaitanya Charitamrita of different devotees. And here in the next verse, two brothers, Srivas Pandit and Sri Rama Pandit, they started two branches that are well known in the world, it says. And it is mentioned in the next purport, Gaura Ganodesha Deepika. So this book describes what is the identity of each devotee in Chaitanya Leela, what is their identity in Krishna Leela. And I mean, amazingly, yesterday I got that book from one devotee in a PDF form. So if anyone wants to have it, any one of you wants to have it, I can send you. Gaura Ganodesha Deepika. And for example, one of the Panchatattva, Srivas Pandit, actually, who is Srivas Pandit? Narada Muni. Yes, Narada Muni. Srivas Pandit is Narada Muni. Hare Krishna. And in this way you can understand who is who in Chaitanya Leela, who are they in Krishna Leela. And now Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami offer obeisances to all the branches of the tree. And these branches of the tree, what are they doing? They are actually distributing the fruit of love of Krishna. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing freely Krishna Prema, and we offer our obeisances to him. He is distributing the love of Godhead to everyone without consideration whether one is qualified or not. Like the sun is shining on everyone, whether he is a thief or he is a very devoted, pious person. And what is significant here is that offering respect to everyone, to all the branches, to all the devotees, respecting all the devotees. And based on this verse, Srila Prabhupada has explained in the purport that even if devotees are from the West, even if they are from very low families like we are, like families of meat eaters and smokers and drinkers and gamblers. So if this person starts to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness and preach Krishna consciousness, he or she is considered to be a bona fide representative of the Lord and a bona fide branch of the tree. And now, unfortunately, even amongst Vaishnavas there is envy. And Srila Prabhupada describes this envy here in the purport. That people became envious and they wanted to minimize the value of Krishna consciousness movement. Why they were envious, why Western disciples are addressing Srila Prabhupada as Prabhupada, because it's a title, it's a high title. And some of these Vaishnavas, or so-called Vaishnavas, I don't know, they actually sometimes spoke in an envious way of Srila Prabhupada and also tried to minimize Srila Prabhupada's achievement, tried to minimize Srila Prabhupada's service. This is something very, very envious thing to do, very bad thing to do. When Srila Prabhupada has done like miracle, amazing things, then they want to minimize in some ways. Srila Prabhupada used to say, it's not difficult to become a guru, you just repeat what Krishna says. So, we know there is Vartma Pradarshaka Guru or Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru, Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. A Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru is one who shows the way, so it may be a Sankirtan devotee or it may even be somebody who is just interested and he directs you to the temple or he gives you a book. The person who gives you a first contact, first direction toward Krishna. Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru, then Shiksha Guru is one who instructs you, and Diksha Guru is one who initiates you. And it is said that Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru are on the same level. And therefore, once one ISKCON Guru was asked, can we call mentors who are like mentors in the temple, Shiksha Guru? And this one ISKCON Guru said no, because Shiksha Guru is a very high position and he is actually on the level of Diksha Guru. So, and these devotees are not. These devotees are a lower level. So, it's not appropriate. And then some other authorities, they thought that these devotees who are mentors, or counselors, they should be called the Shiksha Guru. And of course you are giving Shiksha, but you are repeating the Shiksha of Shiksha Gurus who are on a higher level. So in Krishna consciousness, Shastra gives distinction, who is on which level, who is who should be respected in this way and that way. And it's not that everything is the same. But here Srila Prabhupada says that there is equality also, and then by the philosophy of Achintya Veda, Veda Tattva, we know about that simultaneous sameness and difference. Simultaneously same and different. Something is simultaneously same, but also different. So same in this sense, and then different in this sense. Like we are all same. We are same as Krishna in the same in the sense that we are spiritual, of spiritual nature, but actually we are different than Krishna because he is Vibhu, he is great, and we are Anu or small. Achintya Veda, Veda Tattva. Simultaneous sameness and difference. And one famous musician made a song, Achintya Veda, Veda Tattva, you know? This Kula Shaker. Unfortunately, he left ISKCON. But he also made another song, Govinda, Jaya Jaya. And I think last year or 2 years ago, he had a world tour, and he was in Russia also a lot. And every concert finishing, I mean they play different songs in English, every concert finishing with Govinda Jaya Jaya, and people singing Govinda Jaya Jaya like anything. Govinda Jaya Jaya. So Chaitanya Charitamrita also can be seen from the point of view of devotee care. We can see that there is a lot of devotee care in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself showed a lot of care for devotees. And he would serve prasadam to them, he would give them garlands, he would praise them. And devotees would perform kirtan sometimes, but sometimes they would get tired and they would need to rest even during the day, because like for many hours there is a kirtan, and then someone would actually make an indication to the Lord that devotees are tired, and then the Lord will say, okay, then let's take rest. Let's take rest. So they will take some rest or maybe power nap, and after taking some rest, devotees will take prasadam, or I don't know, maybe before that, take some prasadam, and then continue with the kirtan later. Continue with the kirtan later. Now, some people say, I like kirtan, but I don't like japa. And also some devotees like kirtan, but they don't chant 60 rounds. But we see that acharyas have shown us that they chanted both japa and kirtan, because both are important for purification. And Lord Chaitanya also would chant japa on the beads, but he also, when he wouldn't have beads with him, he would chant on his fingers like this, starting here, and then going like this. So this is 10, and you count here, 1, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 2 times, that's 100, and 8 more. So like this from here, from this finger that is near this small finger, and going like this, it was like a circle. He would chant like this, even if he wouldn't have. But he was always have a holy name in his mouth. Srila Prabhupada also, you can see very often he would chant always. So this Kirtanyasa Dahari, constant chanting of the holy name, will actually purify the heart, Cetadarpanamajanam, and liberate conditioned soul from the entanglement in the material modes of nature. this constant chanting. Sada means constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. But one has to chant without offenses, because when one chants with offenses, it's like pressing the accelerator in the car and at the same time pressing or stepping on the brakes. So in this way you slow down your progress. You make some progress, but it's much slower with offenses. So one has to avoid offenses, and one of the offenses is to consider those who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name, to offend them, to criticize them. And this is mentioned here, criticizing those who have dedicated their lives to spreading the holy name of the Lord. And then also Kirata, Kunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, all kinds of degraded living entities are actually can become qualified to serve the Lord if they accept the process of devotional service. So some people think that birth qualifies you, that your birth qualifies you as a devotee, as a brahmana. But actually, Srila Prabhupada says that your activities are the criteria by which one can be seen. So maybe there are many people born in brahmana families in India, and they eat meat, or maybe they don't eat cows, but they eat fish and chicken, and they cannot give it up, especially in Bengal. They cannot give it up. They eat eggs also, and they are very attached to this. They will not leave fish so easily. You can preach to them, they say Jai Shri Krishna, but they will not give up fish or chicken also.
I have one question. Only the activities qualify, or also the sound vibration which comes from the mouth? Also only what the person do, or also what he says qualifies?
Well, speaking can be considered also doing. So it includes everything. But this, what you say, it reminds me of the verse in Varaha Purana, quoted by Madhvacharya in his commentaries to the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Hridayananda Maharaj and Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu have actually quoted this verse in the 2nd chapter of the 11th. I think it's 11:240, 2nd chapter of the 11th canto. They quoted that verse, that how do you recognize someone's spiritual advancement? Because some devotees are very ecstatic, and someone may think, oh, this one person is very ecstatic externally, he must be very advanced. And somebody is very introspective and quiet and withdrawn, and he would not join kirtan so easily. Or at least maybe dancing not so easily, and they are more quiet, more gentle. But this verse says this is not how you actually determine who is advanced. There are 2 criteria for advancement. One is steadiness or steadfastness. How steady you are in devotional service year after year, continuing with the process. You don't give up. You don't stop. You go away and then for some time you're doing something else, then coming back. That's not steadfastness, but just every day serving. And then another is merciful vibrations that come from someone's mouth. Merciful vibrations that come from someone's mouth. And all these devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they have exhibited both steadfastness and both merciful vibrations. And the most merciful vibration is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when devotees were cleaning the Gundicha temple, they would stop saying anything else to communicate with each other. They would always just say Hare Krishna. When they would hand the bucket, they would say Hare Krishna. When they would receive the bucket, for splashing the temple, they would say Hare Krishna. And everything was Hare Krishna. Always. There is nothing else to say. Only Hare Krishna. It's perfect. It's a perfect vibration. But merciful vibration also can mean that you are not judgmental. And then you may say, oh, Srila Prabhupada was so judgmental. He was criticizing materialists like anything. He was criticizing Mayavadis like anything. But that's also merciful because he is showing what will not please the Lord. And he is not doing it from the platform of envy. He is not doing it from a platform of envy. Someone may criticize from the platform of envy, and someone may criticize from the platform of love, and these are two different things. So when someone criticizes you from the platform of love, you should not get angry. When someone criticizes you from the platform of envy, you will probably get angry, but you should understand that sometimes if there is no one around who is not envious, then Krishna is talking to you through envious people. Because you have to hear it, you cannot hear Krishna from the heart, so he is telling you something through the mouth of somebody who is envious. It is said, where there is smoke, there is fire. So sometimes when somebody is criticized, they say, oh, they are envious of me. So, oh, do you think everybody is envious of you and everybody is wrong and you are the only one who is right? No, they hate me, they are envious that I am so advanced, that I am so nice and like this. Actually, if there is something like this, it's not an accident. But in this case, here, in this case, it's not true. Envy towards pure devotee, we don't say that. Oh, there is actually a reason for this. No, in this case, it's not true. Because there was no reason to criticize Srila Prabhupada. It was envy. So in this case, Krishna was not showing Prabhupada that he has some fault. In this case, Krishna is showing that people will be envious of you, even if you are perfect. Even if you do perfect activity of spreading Krishna consciousness, especially if you want to glorify God in the material world, conditioned souls don't like that, and they will be envious. So you have to be ready. Like Lord Nityananda was actually hit by Madai, insulted. Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces. So preachers are sometimes tortured. Srila Prabhupada was chased by a person with a revolver. He was hit also by the cow in Vrindavan. But he never blamed the Lord. He never blamed the Lord. Preacher never blames the Lord, no matter what difficulties he goes through. He doesn't ask why me. He just sees what needs to be done, how to get out of trouble. Actually, he thinks, I deserve much worse. But Krishna is reducing my lot. Krishna is reducing what I need to get. So that's very difficult, even for many devotees. Therefore, the story of Avanti Brahmana in the 11th canto is so important. And Krishna's willing, we can make a little booklet or book based on this chapter. This is chapter 23 of the 11th canto, the song of Avanti Brahmana. I recommend that you study it, and I will speak about it in the next classes. So, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will develop this devotional attitude, you will develop the attitude of service to devotees, you will develop greater enthusiasm for chanting the holy name of the Lord. You will see how Lord is not pleased with criticizing devotees very much. You will learn how devotees would notice when somebody is bogus or when somebody is philosophically deviated, and he would correct that. Someone may appear as a great devotee, but actually we should be able to notice when they are philosophically wrong or when they have some personal motive. So we should be able to notice this and then help to be corrected somehow. So I will stop here, and I want to tell you that from this evening we will have, actually I still have to get a permission, but I think I will get it from Keshava Prabhu. He didn't reply to my message about this exercise where all of you should speak 10 minutes in the temple room, here in front of everyone, and prepare the verse or the purport, part of the purport that you like. You read it, but don't take too long of a text. If you think, oh, if I read for 5 minutes, then I only have to speak 5 minutes, and then you take a very long text. No, take a short text. Take a short text and one paragraph maximum, and then share your realizations, share your understanding, share some similar verses, share a short story about it, and in this way practice speaking. Because as you see outside, there is so much need for preaching and for supporting people in their Krishna consciousness. And by giving up shyness, giving up fear, you can practice here amongst the devotees, and you can be more confident when you go outside to speak. So some of the devotees I have requested specifically and personally to prepare for tonight. So I think we will have 2 or 3, maybe 2 devotees, 2 times. And also we will have some discussions, more discussions, not only me speaking, but I would like that it's interactive, where we will discuss more about certain, like one verse or one purport. I still have to choose what we will discuss when I'm leading the discussion, and I don't want to just speak myself all the time, but we can discuss things. And sometimes actually it's better if I tell you in advance what will be the next discussion or next verse for tomorrow or next part of the purport. Then you can read the next day until evening, or before evening you can read and you can have your insights, you can write down some things, so you can be more ready for this discussion and contribute to this discussion, and it will become very powerful. These discussions, Krishna Katha, will become very powerful when we all think about the verse and discuss and explain the verse and contribute to understanding from different angles of vision. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to discuss from different angles of vision. So for each devotee, one verse has a different meaning, and some words are more significant than the others. And that's why I got all of yours phones and WhatsApp, so that I can request you to prepare. So, Hare Krishna. So please don't try to avoid or escape or miss this program, but attend boldly, attend it and show what you are made of. Show that you are bold Lord Chaitanya soldiers, that you are a bold Lord Chaitanya soldier, and you are not spoiled mommy's boy or girl. You should be able to stand up for Krishna even if at the risk of your life and say, please understand how valuable this is. This Krishna consciousness, it's universal. People sometimes may attack you or something, but you explain to them. And Lord Chaitanya was able to convert people by his love, by his knowledge, by his logic and reason, by his embrace, by his feeding them prasadam, by his chanting, and for Mayavadis by his light. Only by his light. So thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions?
So one technical question regarding this course is, you will let the speaker know in advance, right? Who's going to speak? For example, today, it's not surprising.
Who is speaking today?
Okay. Yeah. So
Where is Mary Madhava Prabhu?
He's cooking probably breakfast.
Okay. So I have requested Bhakti Nirina and Bhakti Sebastian.
On Monday, you said.
On Monday?
Yeah.
Today is Sunday. Yeah, that's on Monday. It's on Monday, not today.
You said tonight.
No, sorry. I'm also there was this time change, so I'm a little bit confused. So yes, from Monday. Yeah, you have more time from Monday.
Sorry.
So you prepare yourself, do push-ups.
If you're feeling really good, 3.
Or pull-ups and push-ups. and come very strong and speak for 10 minutes like a lion. It is said one should be like a lion on the street and like a lamb in the temple. But I request you to become a little bit like a lion in the temple. Preach boldly.
What's bold? What does it mean?
Bold, brave, courageous.
One more question, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this purport from this last shloka we read, where it is mentioned about designating our Srila Prabhupada as Srila Prabhupada title. This purport is also written by Srila Prabhupada himself or his disciples translated?
I think Prabhupada wrote it.
Okay.
They didn't write purports there is only purports in 11th canto and 10th canto from the chapter 14 to the chapter 80. But these are also Prabhupada's purports. But he is speaking, you can see that he is speaking. Like this. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Also, I don't have your phone number and I don't have your phone number. I have your email, but I don't have your phone number.
Do you have my phone number?
Yes, I got it from somebody, from Bhakti Sebastian.
So nice of you.
And the word Mataji doesn't have H.
Yeah.
You wrote Madhaji.
Madhaji.
So the word Mataji doesn't have H, and the word Prabhu has H.
Oh.
So you wrote Nanda Kumar Prabhu without H.
And Mataji with an H.
Prabhu.
And Mataji with an H. And then what else did you write? There were some mistakes. Yeah,
One
yes.
last question, Prabhuji. So, you mentioned, Prabhuji, that a devotee naturally feels that he deserves more punishment, but it's by the grace of Krishna that his punishment is reduced very little. Wouldn't it be nice, Prabhuji? I mean, why Krishna don't let us know what sins or what bad activities we have done in all the past lives? If we knew it, then it would be easier for me to accept the repentance very easily. Because I don't know what I have done in past lives, so I'm still in doubt whether I did it or didn't do it. So
There is this Chitra Rata who is actually keeping track of everything, writing down everything, sinful activities of all living entities. And maybe there is also video recording. So maybe you can pray to Yamaraj to show you a video of your sinful activities, and you will be shocked. You will be shocked. So, how do we know that we are sinful? We know by the reactions that we get, like some suffering we get. And we got this body also. This body is not very glorious. although it's rare and it's a good vehicle for self-realization, but actually we can see that this body is such a source of trouble. This body is a source of trouble. As soon as we have a material body, that means we should be ashamed. But actually, people are proud. People are so proud to be in this body. They're proud of their body. They're proud of their intelligence. But actually, having a material body is a shame. And maybe sometimes, if you're introspective, you can see in yourself envy. You can see in yourself hatred. You can see yourself 6 highway robbers: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, and Moha. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and madness. You can recognize, and then you can see by these qualities that actually you have been doing simple activities in past lives with these activities. And maybe in this life also you have done something that you now understand now that it's wrong. Some, I don't know, whatever you have been doing. And it's very important to understand that we are not an angel. That's very important, because we will always ask, why me? If we think, oh, I'm such a good guy, why should I get something? Okay, now you are a good guy, but you were not like this before. So one has to understand like this. And if you really want, you may get a dream or maybe some vision, or I don't know, or somebody may come from your previous life and say, I know you from your previous life, you tortured me a lot, and now I want to kill you, or I want to torture you, or I forgive you. Or you look at the chart, some people can see the past lives. And I went to Jyotish astrologer, and he was telling me that one girl wanted to, I was a teacher, but one girl who was like a disciple more, she wanted to marry me. And then I didn't want. And it hurt her a lot. So sometimes, these people can tell you what you have been doing in past lives and why you have to suffer now. And there is this one Russian healer who is do the thing. It's called karmic diagnostics. And yes.
How? Yeah.
He's quite amazing. So I tell you one story. There was a woman who was cheated by her husband. He cheated her and he put her in prison for 7 years. He took all of her possessions by cheating, by lying in the court. So while she was in prison, she was healthy, didn't have any physical problem, maybe some emotional problem, mental problem. But when she got out, she got cancer. And she went to all kinds of alternative and normal doctors, and nobody could help her. Everybody would say, you're going to die soon. And she went to this gentleman from Russia, who is very pious. He believes in God, he speaks about God. And so they sent her to him because he was like a last resort. He was the last chance for her, that if he can help her, because he speaks about karmic diagnostics. He explains karma also to people and why they have something, and then they accept it more easily and they can work on it more successfully. So he said, you have cancer because you have not forgiven your husband. And if you want to live, do your best to forgive him. And she said, well, it makes sense. I want to live. And she tried her best to forgive him, and she's still alive. So, you see, even not forgiving brings heavy reactions. But if she understands the law of cause and effect, then she must understand that in the past life she has done this to him, the same thing. Many devotees don't understand the law of karma. We think we understand karma, reincarnation, yoga, meditation. We don't understand any of these things. How is our meditation? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's not meditation, it's sleeping. Nidra yoga. Karma, we don't understand cause and effect. If we would understand cause and effect, then we would never complain. Because for every effect there is a cause. Why is this happening to me? I'm such a nice guy. I don't deserve this. And others maybe deserve, I don't care, but I don't deserve it. I'm a nice guy. But you can understand that if there is effect, there must be a cause. If law is neutral, if law is objective, neutral, law is, sometimes they say impersonal, that it doesn't care. Just you get what you deserve. And there is this law of attraction. Maybe sometimes we can discuss these New Age concepts, because you meet people in preaching. Law of attraction, if you meditate on this, you will get this, and you can also, influence other people. So they say you get what you attract what you think about, or what you desire. But actually, you get what you deserve, not what you think about and what you desire. It may be connected, these two may be connected. You understand? So, if you really want, I think it will be revealed to you. If you really want to be convinced that you were not an angel before, I think it will be revealed to you. But by this logic and reason you can also understand. Okay, yes?
There is a question from internet.
Yes.
Mataji is asking why we are mostly hoping that the good shall win if we are still so much rascal in reality.
And the name?
Lara Mataji.
Again, can you repeat it?
Why we are mostly hoping that the good shall win if we are still so much rascal in reality.
Why we are thinking like that? I would ask the person who thinks like that why they are thinking like that. Whoever it is, why? Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to think like that. So why are we thinking like that? And there is element of causeless mercy also. Yeah, devotee is expecting actually causeless mercy, so you can expect. But it's very important to stop. Like one qualification of Jagai and Madai is that they stopped with sinful activities. They were really, they were killing people, they were doing so many sinful activities. But they stopped. That's their qualification. And from then on, they became saints. And many people don't stop. They are playing. And I published yesterday on Facebook, I'm stuck. I am neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. So I'm in some kind of loop. Neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. You try to go back and be a non-devotee and put sunglasses and a cigar and try to, and it doesn't work. Somehow you cannot identify with this. Put the makeup if you're a woman or something. Also men put makeup. So you try, it doesn't work. Then you try to really be a Vaishnava, like a serious devotee. It also doesn't work. So we are in between, but we have to go to one side. And it's difficult because if you try to go back to materialism, it's more difficult than to be a devotee. So therefore you be a devotee. Yes? Okay, last.
Okay, we are always talking about criticism that we have to avoid. But on the other hand, it's another extreme is that we don't talk nothing. We don't express nothing to the person, even we are convinced or not. So our relationship are like very superficial. We don't discuss if we are not. We don't like something. We don't discuss it, and it creates, from my point of view, very Mayavadi, very like impersonal relationship.
And it's also impersonal not to point out people's good qualities. This is also impersonal. It's also demoniac. So, and what experts say that you should, for every criticism, you should give 5 praises. So if you are ready for that, you can criticize. Come to me and criticize. You tell me 1 criticism and I want 5 praises about any devotee. Because we really like to do this.
And not about criticism, I just want to tell that just to talk openly, it will not to criticize, but to talk. To talk what I feel and what another person feels. It's not about criticism. That's what I... Because what we don't...
To understand what is right or wrong. To talk about it because you want to understand what is right or wrong. Or you think you already know.
I didn't understand.
Why would you like to discuss this? Why would you like to speak about something that you feel is wrong? Why would you speak about something that is wrong? Why do you want to do that?
It's not about wrong, no. It's about what I feel. It's not about what is wrong, but what I feel. I want to express what I feel towards... it's not that I am, how to say, trying to keep it in myself.
But what do you feel about what?
About if I'm with somebody, if I'm talking, then it's in relationship to somebody. It's
about them.
Yeah. It's not about them, about my feeling.
But your feelings are related to them.
Yes.
Or to somebody else, something else. Well, this is a good point. We have to create space for devotees to speak, and that's why I'm pushing the devotee care and the mentoring system, so that you have somebody you can speak confidentially about things and see things in proper perspective. Like one of the purposes of the devotee care is to create space for people to express how they feel without being afraid that they will be judged. So this is an important thing. And sometimes if you have doubts about something, you should be allowed to express. And you can always phrase it in the form of a question, not to say, I think this is wrong and like this. You may also say like this, but it's more like, I would say, civilized to pose it in the form of a question, because sometimes you may be wrong. So, so is this right? That I have seen somebody doing this, is this right? And they say, well, it's not right, but I also cannot say anything about it because I'm not in a position to criticize, not to criticize, but to correct that person. And sometimes we have, this fairy tale about emperor's new clothes? You have in Russian this fairy tale? Emperor's new clothes? So the king was naked and nobody dared to say, only one boy. He said, oh, but the king is naked. And they said, no, he has new clothes. Very nice clothes. They were sewing these clothes, but it's invisible. So sometimes, because somebody is authority, nobody says anything for years. And some people who are, a little bit intelligent, they see, this is not right. He may be an authority, but he is doing something wrong. But because we are not in a position to say something, then we also don't say something. And the king is naked. And everybody says he has new clothes. So I don't know, do you have a mentor? Or?
Yeah.
So can you speak openly? To some extent, yeah.
To some extent.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not easy to find someone we can trust 100%, but you have to see. You can always speak to Krishna, and he also hears your confession. Yes? Oh, wait a minute. Is it okay? Okay, yes?
Is it, so I talked with my grandma and I said
Grandmother?
my grandmother, and I said to her that I don't open up to anyone like 100%, or maybe I never did. So I always, for the first time I'm able to do it when I talk to Krishna. But this is like something she said is unhealthy, and I should not maybe do it with a person, like a living entity. That is not Krishna, so what to do about this?
Find someone you can trust, or try to build such a relationship, such a trusting relationship over time, so that you can do that. So it takes time to build trust. You can't trust people just because they have a title, because they are senior, because they know a lot. You can't trust them just because of that. It has to be developed through personal interaction. See how they are reacting, how they are. Like one young devotee told me that she was shocked by the reaction of a senior devotee who was with her in the car. She was shocked how this senior devotee reacted to something that happened, because she didn't expect this senior devotee who was Brahmana to react like this. But initially she trusted her, but then later she was not sure if you can trust, because if there is such a reaction, then it means this person cannot control herself so well. So by behavior and by how they deal with you, and I mean, we can speak about trust. Maybe we can speak about trust next week when we have discussions. It's very important for every relationship. Also, trusting Krishna, trusting Guru, trusting Srila Prabhupada. Speak about faith, about trust. I think this is very important, fundamental point. So thank you very much for this idea. So you understand? It doesn't go so quickly, but we should be able to speak with devotees in a confidential way. Guyam akati prichati. The first thing we spoke when I came is Guyam akati prichati, and I have the whole selection of quotes about this. It's so important. Guyam akati prichati. Confidential conversations. So, but to have confidential conversations, you have to have confident people you can trust. Okay?
Okay.
So I have a question about the preaching and the means opens and against the chanting of the holy name. It's not allowed to instruct a faithless person and about the glories of the holy name. And what is the difference about instruct and preaching?
Very, very nice question.
When we are preaching, how not to instruct?
Yeah. Instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name, and we are doing this all the time. We are doing it all the time. We are trying to convince them. So we need to learn from experienced preachers. We need to learn how to do this. Like I gave some of you this sonic theology, like scientific explanation of the power of sound. For some people, science is they have faith in science. And if you can explain scientifically the power of sound, then they might start to think, okay, I maybe try chanting this mantra. So you have to create the conditions so that they can accept it. You have to inspire them, you have to get them interested. But if you forcefully do this, that's offensive. If you forcefully try to impose, at least this is how I understand. If anybody wants to add to this, maybe you can say. Yes?
Maybe we should just try to tell them, and if they what's been told by Guru and Shastra, and if we start telling them what are our experiences, and when they don't want to listen, that's kind of instructing. And if we are only telling them what is written in the Shastras, then it's preaching.
So you see, you are presenting something without imposing, without telling them, this you have to accept, this is the absolute truth. You are exposing them to information, and then they can choose how they relate to that information. I sometimes tell people, read this book and tell me if it makes sense to you. Like this. So you can also, you see, I want to present you something about the power of sound, which changed my life, but you tell me if it makes sense to you. That this mantra is actually very powerful, and it changed my consciousness, and it also connects you with God, and things like that. So it's a very good question. Yeah, it's a very good question. You don't want to make offenses in instructing people, but at the same time we are asked to preach. So it's an art. You have to learn it by learning from those who are experienced. As he said, also make this distinction. And the more you practice, the better you will be in this. Okay? Very nice question. Thank you. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Akur Prabhuji ki jai.